Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Sports Scoop. Today, I'm going to be doing an NFL mock draft. So, before we get into the video, if you enjoy, make sure to like and subscribe. We do all this type of content. This mock draft, we do NFL player analysis, we do predictions during the season. So, if you enjoy that, make sure to subscribe. And without the way, enjoy the video. So the Jacksonville Jaguars have the first overall pick, and I think this is a pretty obvious one. Trevor Lawrence from Clemson should be the pick here. Possesses all the elite characteristics of a rookie quarterback, has great arm strength, good accuracy, good intellectual skills. I think he should be a perfect fit for wherever he goes, and I think Jacksonville are lucky to have him. Jets have the second pick. I think this is also becoming more and more apparently obvious. Zach Wilson from BYU will likely be the pick, considering Wilson. Wilson during Wilson's pro day, a lot of Jets personnel like Joe Douglas, the GM, really showed up at his pro day, and I think they seem very keen on taking him with the second overall pick. Combine that with the fact that with the Darnold trade, it is almost 100% that the Jets will be taking a quarterback. I think it seems likely that will be the pick here. Now, the San Francisco 49ers have the third pick. I have them taking Justin Fields from Ohio State just because of the fact that really Justin Fields fits that Shanahan type of offense perfectly. I think in my opinion, Fields is really the best pocket passer, pure pocket passer from this class. And I feel like Shanahan would harness his abilities perfectly. Also has a very good arm and it has the ability to be mobile and go out, scramble outside the pocket while adding another dimension to that RPO offense that Shanahan loves to run. And I think really, obviously, he does have flaws. Obviously, he sometimes gets stuck on one read, which is obviously a concern. But I think given the fact that he'll be able to be under one of the better coaching staffs in the league and will get to sit a year likely under Jimmy G, I think this is a great fit for San Francisco and Justin Fields. Now you have the Falcons at number 4. I'm taking the best player available, in my opinion, Kyle Pitts from Florida. And I think you could obviously say maybe they could go quarterback considering Matt Ryan's getting a bit up there. But with a new coaching staff and a new kind of regime overall, I feel like it just makes sense to kind of maybe trust your wild core's aging. I think it's still very good. And maybe that new coaching staff really can get more out of this team, which I feel like I still see a bit of potential in. So why not just get the best player available and see what you can do with that new offense? You have the Bengals at 5. I think this has to be Penei Sewell. Penei Sewell is, my opinion, the best offensive tackle, not only this year, but in the past few years, in my opinion, shows elite run blocking ability, but also can be a very good pass blocker. Won the Outland Trophy for best tackle while in college. And I think given that the Bengals haven't invested as much as we expect them to during free agency to protect Joe Burrow, if Sewell's available, they have to take him here. You have the Dolphins at 6. This is a tough one because I feel like Chase and Smith are on this. I think it has to be a wide receiver, but I think Jamar Chase and Devontae Smith are on the same level in terms of wide receiver. I haven't taken Devontae Smith just because of the fact that I feel like he's a better scheme fit for that Dolphins offense, considering Tua Tagovailoa, the quarterback, really likes those receivers who can get just a sliver of space whenever and just get a little bit open so Tua can use that elite accuracy to find his man. I feel like Devontae Smith is that type of wide receiver. Combine that with the fact that Smith does have experience with Tua during college, I think it makes sense here. So with Smith out of the way, I think the Detroit Lions, who also are in dire need of wide receiver, will take Jamar Chase from LSU. Chase, real again, had a spectacular season last season and opted out in 2020. I don't think that'll hurt his draft stock too much. Again, had an amazing year with Joe Burrow and company, and I think obviously my opinion, he could easily be the number one wide receiver in this class. I think just Smith fits better with the Dolphins, and I think the Lions would easily been happily snatch Smith up at Chase up at 7, just because of the fact that they have lost their two best wide receivers to free agency, Kenny Galladay to the Giants and Marvin Jones to the Jaguars. You have the Panthers at 8 with Sam Darnold getting traded to the Panthers. I feel like now they won't be taking a quarterback like Trey Lance or Mac Jones. So I think the pick here should be offensive tackle. Rashawn Slater, in my opinion, again, has great versatility across the line, could play tackle, guard, even center when he needs to. And I think when whoever the quarterback will be, whether or not it is Darnold or Teddy Bridgewater, they need to make sure that they're protected. I think Slater is the best overall pass protector after Sewell. Now you have the Broncos available at 9. Some people have them taking quarterback. I don't, just because of the fact that I feel like Drew Lock still is very young and has still a decent potential, in my opinion. So with that out of the way, why not go the defensive side of the ball and take Jonathan Wusu-Kormo, in my opinion, the best linebacker in this class. As you saw at Notre Dame, he possesses elite coverage skills for a linebacker. Also, can blitz when necessary and is a great run stuffer. Really, it might be the best all-around linebacker in this class. And under that Rick Fangio defense, he kind of like that guy who could take control, that really good Mike linebacker that he doesn't have yet in Denver. And I feel like Cormo has the potential to be that easily. And I think it was a perfect fit between scheme and talent. We have the Cowboys available at 10. I think they need to get another cornerback. Trayvon Diggs did show flashes in his rookie year, but he can't do it alone. Why not get Patrick Surtain II, his former Alabama teammate, who in my opinion is the most experienced, most well-rounded, experienced, well-rounded, and just pro-ready cornerback in this class. He doesn't have the elite physical skills as other corners may have in this class, but in my opinion, he's the most very smart. He's very, again, pro ready. I think he makes sense for the Cowboys here. Just need an identity on that defense again. Now you have the Giants at 11. This is a tough pick because you have multiple needs maybe, but I have them taking Micah Parsons from Penn State. And the reason for that is not real, is more to the fact that Parsons, not obviously, we know he has some character concerns and a lot of people have him slipping for that reason, but and isn't even the best linebacker in this class considering he's a bit raw, but I feel like he has such amazing physical tools, is again very fast, has very great speed and great leverage for linebacker, and also again can cover well, can blitz well. I just feel like with all that just raw talent sitting there, I think the Giants can afford to take him here and maybe have him as that future leader of that line of that defense here in New York, considering obviously they do have Blake Martinez, but I think you need still a bit more reinforcement of that linebacking core. I feel like that's what Micah Parsons does for this unit. Now you have the Eagles at 12. I think they need to get a wide receiver here. Obviously, some Eagles fans were upset that they traded down so they couldn't get Smith or Chase. But I feel like Jalen Waddle is a great alternative option. He adds more speed to that, again, speedy Eagles wide receiving core. Obviously, Bateman, in my opinion, would be a great option as well. But I feel like Waddle fits more, again, in that scheme, considering it seems like what Howie Roseman and Howie Roseman and Nick Sirianni are trying to build is an offense really that can take the top off of you. And I feel like Jalen Waddle definitely fits into that category and also demonstrates great route running and a potential wide receiver number one ability. You have the Chargers at 13. I think it was very smart of them to invest in the offensive line during the offseason, considering Herbert didn't have exactly elite protection last season. I think you still need to add on to that. Obviously, that, in my opinion, just one offensive lineman is enough. I feel like Elijah Vera Tucker is great because, again, like Slater, he provides great versatility across the line. He is listed as an interior offensive line, but can easily also play tackle. So now with 2/5 of the offensive line done at least, I feel like that's very important for Herbert. So he can get, again, he can have a bit more time to process with processing and reading in that pocket, and maybe doesn't have to scramble out as much as he had to last season. Sorry. Now you have the Vikings at 14. I think cornerback would be a good pick here. Obviously, edge could have been the pick, but I feel like with Ngakoue, no, sorry, not with Ngakoue, sorry. With signing Dalvin Tomlinson, I feel like that need is a lot is not as much. So I feel like JC Horn would be a good pick, considering while they did get Patrick Peterson, he still is up there in age. So why not reinforce that with, in my opinion, very talented rookie cornerback in Horn, who provides physical skills. He's very physical on the line of scrimmage, and can do a good job sticking with his receiver in man coverage, which I feel like Mike Zimmer would really like in that would like that type of corner. You have the Patriots now at 15. It's between, in my opinion, quarterback would be a good need, considering while Cam Newton is with the Patriots, I feel like that was more of an insurance move to make sure they do have a backup option. I think Mac Jones should be the pick here. I don't get me wrong, I like Trey Lance, but I feel like Belichick would like that guy who's really pro ready, has good accuracy, and can go into an offense and learn the system immediately. He's well coachable, which I don't get me wrong. Trey Lance is just as well coachable as Mac Jones, but he doesn't need to be coached as much considering he's more, again, more ready. Again, it's just more pro ready, which in my opinion. So in my opinion, I think Mac Jones makes sense for the Patriots here. It would also excel in that short passing game that him and with Belichick and Josh McDaniels like to execute. So I wouldn't be surprised if also Mac Jones ends up as the week 1 starter for the Patriots over Cam Newton. I think it makes sense here for Mac Jones to the Patriots. 16th pick, now you have the Arizona Cardinals. I have Caleb Farley going here, and with Patrick Peterson leaving, you have to reinforce that cornerback position. I know Farley probably isn't a plug and play, is a bit raw, did opt out last season. I still think with all those physical tools and abilities, which gives him such a high ceiling, it seems a bit foolish to pass up on him, especially with such a dire need at cornerback. In my opinion, he's easily cornerback 3, even cornerback 2 range. So I think Farley would be a good and important pick for the Cardinals here. You have the Las Vegas Raiders now at 17. They need to address offensive line. I think offensive tackle, especially, they lost Trent Brown and Rodney Hudson during the same offseason. They're two best pieces on the offensive line. Why not reinforce that with a guy who's a mammoth at tackle and also can play both the power running scheme, which Las Vegas likes to execute, in Christian Darrisaw from Virginia Tech, back-to-back Virginia Tech players here. Again, like I said, a big guy, showed really great promise with Virginia Tech last season. And I think he's one of the more underrated tackles in this draft. Could easily go ahead of players like maybe Slater or Vera Tucker. So I like Darrisaw here to the Raiders. You have the Dolphins at 18. They have lost a couple of pieces on the defensive side of the ball, like Kyle Van Noy. I think edge is still a big need for them, and I feel like why not get the best one, Jalen Phillips. I did my edge rushing video a couple days ago about who's the best edge rusher. I had Jalen Phillips here, spoiler alert, and I think the reason why is because he provides really everything you need in an edge rusher. He has elite bend, he has good speed, good athleticism, has great leverage for an edge rusher coming out of college, and he really also demonstrates great hand technique. And I think while Flores is a great coach, he also would like a guy that doesn't really have to coach and could set up and be that day one starter, immediate impact type of guy, which, I mean, my opinion, Phillips could be. So I think he'd be a great pick to kind of be a plug and play and be that a dominant edge rusher in the AFC East for years to come. Now you have the Washington football team available for the 19th pick. I think they also will address linebacker. I think obviously you have that front four, which is very good. You have that cornerback, that secondary, which obviously isn't completely sorted, but it's pretty good. I think really you need to address the linebacking position, considering, especially the interior, considering it's not a done deal, 100% good. I think Nick Bolton fits there. I think Nick Bolton provides very good speed for a linebacker. But I think one of the more important things is that he also was like one of the leaders on that Missouri defense. If you ask his teammates what you have to say about them, they'll only say positive things. Obviously, physically gifted, a great player overall, good tackler, good in the run, good at run defending. And I think Nick Bolton can be that guy who can be that Mike for an emerging defense in Washington. Now you have the Bears at 20. They are very fortunate that Trey Lance fell all the way to this position. I feel like if he did fall here, which I do have him, I think they easily snatch him up. Why Trey Lance falls here? It's not because of his talent, because he obviously is one of the more talented quarterbacks in this draft. It's more the fact that there aren't really a lot of teams that need quarterback after 3. I mean, you could point to the Broncos, but I feel like Drew Lock is still. I don't feel like it's a done deal that he should be evicted, taken away from Denver so early. Patriots, I think they might prefer Mac Jones. I don't really see a lot of other options really for Trey Lance and sell 20 to the Bears. And I feel like obviously he'll probably sit for a year under Andy Dalton. There are concerns that teams may have that he did also sit out for a year. Oh, well, did have one exhibition game. So they don't have a lot of tape on him, even though he is very promising as a quarterback prospect. So I feel like 20 is, in my opinion, reasonable for Trey Lance. He's a really good prospect, but you don't be surprised if you see him slip a bit in this year's draft. Now you have the Colts at 21. Another team that really loves to execute that power run system with Marlon Mack, who was re-signed, Jonathan Taylor, and sometimes Naeem Hines. I think Tevin Jenkins fits that perfectly. He's again, he executed that power run blocking system perfectly. He's another very strong, very big offensive tackle who can actually absolutely dominate edge rushers and even interior linebackers in the run blocking system. Also, very solid pass blocker. And with Anthony Costanzo retiring, I think Tevin Jenkins is a great fit to replace him as the future of the Colts. You have the 22nd pick. You have the Tennessee Titans with them surprisingly cutting Adoree Jackson. I think they need to go cornerback. I think Greg Newsome should be the pick here from Northwestern. Played for some of the season. He had a very decent year. He provides very good ball skills and another one of those very physical cornerbacks that you will see a lot more in the NFL nowadays. Obviously, he has had a bit of injury concerns and also can sometimes over anticipate with his coverages, but I still think he'd be a good fit for a coach like Mike Vrabel, who can easily coach him up to be a very good cornerback. Now you have my New York Jets available at 23. There are some, I don't know where to go from here because a lot of people have them taking an edge or a corner, and I do like those picks. But I feel like one of the underrated big needs for the Jets are interior offensive line. I feel like whoever a quarterback to be, and whenever you draft a rookie quarterback, you need to make sure that they're 100% protected. We do have a very good left tackle in Mekhi Becton, but we still need help on that interior. I think Wyatt Davis is a great from Ohio State. Very good zone run blocker, so we can put the pressure off our rookie quarterback when we're handing the ball off, or again, very good in the pass blocking as well. As you saw with Justin Fields when he was a quarterback, Wyatt Davis and that whole offensive line really did a great job in protecting him, and I feel like he'd be a great fit for New York. Now you have the Steelers at 24. Another offensive line pick here. Steelers are on track to lose maybe all 5 of their offensive line members from last season, and I think they need to immediately get quick reinforcements. Samuel Cosme, in my opinion, again, he's 6'7" or 6'8". He's huge, and provided very good pass blocking for when he was playing earlier in season for Texas. I think, again, very, very solid offensive tackle and maybe not a plug and play but I feel like with Alejandro Villanueva possibly leaving or retiring in a couple of years, it makes sense to get his replacement sooner rather than later. Now we have the Jacksonville Jaguars. Again, I'm going to go offensive line. It's such an important position nowadays in the NFL. In my opinion, a very pro-ready, very safe pick. Liam Eichenberg doesn't have a huge ceiling, but also I can guarantee you he'll be a plug and play. He can be a very solid offensive lineman who can help protect Trevor Lawrence. It just makes sense considering you don't know what you're going to see with Cam Robinson coming off that torn ACL. It's a very iffy offensive line. I feel like getting a new rookie piece in there to help make sure that Trevor Lawrence is protected would be beneficial for the Jaguars. Now you have the Cleveland Browns now at 26, and they did a lot of very good work in the offseason getting two Rams secondary members in John Johnson and Troy Hill. So now I think you need to get an edge rusher who can be efficient opposite to Myles Garrett, and there are a lot of good ones here. I have Azeez Ojulari from Georgia, can execute very well. He's best in a 4-3, can play edge rusher, but can also play 4-3 outside linebacker off the ball. And really using that, I think the Browns would really use that versatility well, considering they're doing a very good job building that that defense to be a solid defense, and they still need a few more pieces. And I think Azeez Ojulari would definitely help in that area. Has good hand technique. Has, again, another one of those guys that has good leverage, good speed, good burst off the edge. I think he's a good fit who can also play again as a linebacker, just as an outside linebacker in a 4-3 system. You have the Ravens at 27. In my opinion, they get one of the steals of the draft in Rashad Bateman from Minnesota. If you've watched our channel earlier, if you watch Kian or Charlie, you've seen that, or especially Kian, you've seen that we all really like Rashad Bateman here. I think we feel like he's one of the more, not underrated considering everyone has him in the first round, but like we feel like he could be a top 10, top 15 talent. I feel like when you look at him, you see elite route running skills. He has good hands, good size for a wide receiver, and that's really all we need. And he did this all with subpar quarterback play at Minnesota. And I feel like he could execute in a RPO system very well and could be maybe immediately that number one wide receiver that Lamar Jackson needs and maybe could finally get in Baltimore. Now you have the Saints at 28. They lost Emmanuel Sanders to free agency, so they also are in desperate need of wide receiver, especially a slot guy would be good. And I think Kadarius Toney could help fill in and be that number two option to Michael Thomas for whoever the quarterback is, whether it is Taysom Hill or Jameis Winston. I feel like Toney makes sense here. He had a very solid season with Florida last season and being a nice compliment to Kyle Pitts. I think he's well worthy of this first round selection. I think this would be a good safe pick for the Saints. That is, in my opinion, he could be a very solid producer in year one for them. You have the Packers now at 29. And with two wide receivers that they possibly would have gotten and probably would have wanted at 29, maybe you look to an alternative position and maybe get a wide receiver in the later rounds. So I have them taking Christian Barmore from Alabama. When you look at the Packers, you say they have decent edge rushers. Like they have obviously the Smith brothers and Rashawn Gary, but that interior is very questionable. So I feel like they still need to address that. And with Barmore available, who in my opinion is a first round talent, he just makes a lot of sense for the Packers and would be, again, another guy who is very solid for Alabama on that defense and really rose his draft stock. And I feel like, again, he could really help take up those guards and allow maybe put less pressure on the edge rushers to do their job. Now you have the Buffalo Bills at 30. I think when you look at Buffalo, they probably are in a position where they want to really win now. And I think with you look at the kind of players that could help them win now, and I think you look at maybe edge rusher because they were very keen on getting one of the edge rushers during free agency, most notably JJ Watt from the Houston Texans. But since they didn't, I think you now have to look at the draft considering edge isn't exactly completely good yet. So in my opinion, I think a great guy for the job for edge rusher would be Gregory Rousseau from Miami. Didn't have them look spectacular pro day, and obviously more concerns that he did opt out during last season. But for Rousseau, I think what you like about him is his versatility across the line. He can play on any front. He can play 3 technique or 1 technique, but obviously he's best in a 5 technique. I think for this young Buffalo core, he can obviously step in and play some snaps during his rookie season, but can be, if he's well coached and he is under a good coaching staff with Sean McDermott, he can be one of the better edge rushers in the NFL if well coached. Now you have the AFC champion Kansas City Chiefs, and I think it's pretty obvious here that they do need help on the offensive line. I think, easily need help on the offensive line. And for me, the best option available is Jalen Mayfield. Fits Kansas City in the fact that he can execute in a pass heavy offense, can execute really in any offense. I think pass heavy, he's very good at, has high potential, and more importantly, they just need to fill that void, that those big shoes that Eric Fisher and Mitchell Schwartz will be leaving after both getting released. And I think to protect Patrick Mahomes, I know the Chiefs did help by reinforcing the guard positions with with Joe Tooney, but I think tackle is still very, very important. I think Jalen Mayfield would be a very good pick for the Chiefs. And finally, you have the defending Super Bowl champion Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And again, we've had a lot of tackle guard picks, and we're going to end it off like that. Dylan Radunes from North Dakota State. I think what I like about Radunes really is that, again, he has a lot of talent, but also can really execute in Tampa Bay's system that they want. He will be going into an offense that really relies on timing and a power run game, which is really a lot what he executed there at North Dakota State. And I feel like obviously the Tampa Bay offensive line is good, but adding another piece definitely couldn't help to keep that that Super Bowl window alive. But that is it for the video. Again, if you enjoy, make sure to like and subscribe. We really appreciate you watching. Comment down below what you thought of the video. If you didn't like it, tell me what you didn't like. I love reading the comments, and I will respond if I have the time to. So with out of the way, thanks for watching.